Hello world, it's Kurtis Potter with Boundless Inspiration. Today I wanted to talk to you about something I've witnessed my whole life. I'm witnessing in today's world, and I've experienced essentially my whole life. It's the saying that hurt people hurt people. Now, what that means is you go through something, you experience some kind of hardship. A lot of times it's stuff we go through as a child. We get put through some things by our parents, our family, our friends, our loved ones. And it may not even be something that you got put through some experience, but it may be a loss of a loved one. A lot of times I see that it's hurt and baggage from previous relationships. You may have been molested or raped or just something that has turned your heart black. It's hurt you on the inside. It's some kind of baggage that you're holding on to. And the thing is if you don't get healing for you, you'll likely take it out on somebody or something. You'll be frustrated in the mornings. You'll struggle to sleep. You'll react badly. You'll be in a victim mentality. You'll blame others instead of being the source. You can't take ownership. You'll be infallible where you can't admit you're wrong. These are just things that I've experienced in my life that I have been, not to say you, but myself, that I have done. And in my time of growth, I'm just realizing the negative effect that it's having on relationships, me achieving my full greatness, the business that I'm running or the job that I'm working. And the thing is the moment in my life where I stopped all of that and I said, you know what? I'm still struggling from my parents getting divorced and the shit show that they put me through. I'm still struggling from getting molested as a child. I'm still struggling with that I threw away my 20s by using and abusing drugs and alcohol to cope for the crap that I couldn't even talk about. I was just holding in, especially for men. It's like, you got to have these tough shoulders. You can't cry. Hold it in. Be strong. Push through. Not be emotional. But you know what? All that was doing was causing me to really be unauthentic. There's times where I just had this mask on in my life. And regardless if I had a bunch of friends, people following me, it wasn't the real me. I was struggling to let the real me out and be truly authentic. I remembered I had never told anyone that I had been molested until I was like 23. I was on a vacation with a girl I was dating, and I don't even know how this happened, but we had got wasted. We're taking an Uber home, and on the way home, I just randomly started crying. She's like looking at me like, what's going on? And I was so intoxicated, I just let it out. And I didn't plan it, I didn't intend on it. And even I remember looking in her face and she's like, man, I didn't sign up for this. And I didn't know why it even came out, but it was because I was holding in and it finally just came out. But that was actually when I was real enough to let out what was inside of me. It was the first step of me getting healing, me getting restoration, me being able to work towards becoming my full potential, my work towards my calling, start chasing my dreams and goals, finding my worth. I've witnessed it day in, day out. You can't even talk to someone about what they're doing that's toxic without them receiving it as an attack. Most people you can't even talk to with constructive criticism without them being like, well, what about you? What about you? What about you? And it's like, let's focus on the situation at hand what's happening right now, and I'm just trying to address it because it's the outside looking in and it's actually affecting me. So I'm just trying to talk with you through it. And I'll tell you, I not only have witnessed it, I have been that person before. If you try to tell me what I was doing wrong, I'd be like, this is what you do wrong. What about this? What about this, you hypocrite? I think that's a lot of times why they look at Christians and people that go to church as hypocrites, because they can easily point out what everyone else is doing wrong, but then they're getting drunk at night. They're, driving 75 miles an hour. They're doing things. They're judging people like, hey, you. Well, if you look at it, when you're pointing at somebody, yeah, you've got that one finger at them. You've got 3 fingers back at you and then 1 at God. Because, see, I firmly believe there's 3 sides to every story. Side A, the opposing side, and then God's version. See, he sees everything without emotions, logically, rationally. And you know what? He forgives instantly. No matter how much you mess up, and even if it was 10 minutes ago, he's already forgiven you. He already understands your heart and what you're going through. He understands that the devil is the one that's likely causing you, because that devil wants to steal, kill, and destroy your life. He knows what's in your heart just like God does. The devil knows what's in your heart, knows what's in your mind, and he'll just scatter it all up so you can't progress. Today, I just invite you to get healing for what you're hurting for. It will be the best day in your life. It will be when you find your worth and you stop relying on people to give you hugs and kisses and say, it'll be all right. It'll be when you stop relying on them. It'll be the day that you stop lying. It'll be the day that you take off that mask, and you'll be the source of your life. When you start being intentional about what you want, what makes you happy? Are you working at a job that you hate? It's like the alarm goes off and you're like, damn, I don't want to go into this hellhole. So do something about it. Are you hurting? Do something about it. Are you pushing everyone away? Is your marriage struggling? Is your relationship struggling? Is your friendship struggling? Be the change that you want to be. Be the leader that you are. If you're watching this video, I know you're a leader. So lead. Get healing. Get that restoration. Put down that bottle. Put down those drugs. Stop coping, using stuff as a coping mechanism. It may not even be drugs or alcohol. It may be going to the gym and just be an excessive gym rat. And on your Facebook page, you're like flexing for everybody. But deep down, you're only doing it to get worth, I work out because I value it in my health. I watched my dad go through multiple heart attacks and has like 12 stents put in his heart. So I value it, and I don't do it to flex, or I would I would be having a lot bigger muscles and a 6-pack abs and stuff like that. But I value it. And if you value the things in your life, like having a great life, being happy, having joy, having a successful marriage, having a successful relationships, having a successful job environment, then step up and be that change. So you can have a testimony for everyone else like myself. I went through hell in my teens and 20s. Man, I was a wrecking ball. I was a force to be reckoned with. I went in looking for fights. I'd be in bars and my buddies would be like, Kurtis, are you just trying to fight somebody today? And I'll be like, yeah. I started to get my identity in fighting because I had whooped some people's asses, some big people bigger than me, that people are like, Kurtis, you're going to fight that dude? I'm like, no, I'm about to demolish that dude. And I was so angry that I've never lost a fist fight in my life. It wasn't because I took training in karate or taekwondo or MMA or anything like that. I was actually really small for a long time. I played soccer. I couldn't gain weight to save my life. But I was so angry and I was holding in everything that as soon as I got in a fight, it came out. I exploded. I blacked out. There were times where I beat the crap out of somebody and people were pulling me off of them because I never got healing. I never talked about what was hurting me, what I was struggling with. I looked at counseling as some bull crap like, I'm too prideful. Marriage counseling like, what? I don't need somebody telling me. But you know what? I actually have he's a friend of a friend who him and his wife started marriage counseling the week after their honeymoon. And I'm like, what? Like, what? They go into their marriage knowing it was a shit show? He said, no. They went into their marriage saying, neither of us are perfect. And we have some baggage that we've brought into this marriage. And we want this marriage to succeed. So we're going to be the source, take ownership, and be intentional about our marriage. They've been married like 27 years. And they still go to marriage counseling at least once a month. And they say, you know what? We have the most amazing marriage that we could ask for. You know what? Because if we go through something and her and I are, we're human. We may struggle to talk through something. But the beauty is we go to this professional, this godly marriage counselor who is not going to take sides. They're going to say, well, you know what? What would God want you to do in this situation? How would God love his church? Because that's how you're supposed to love everyone else. Not in judgment. Again, how can you be the source in this situation? How can you take ownership in this situation? How can you get the healing that you need in this situation? How can we forgive right now? How can we give grace, mercy, and love right now? Not last year, not last week, not yesterday, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, right now. How can you be the source of your life? If this helped you or someone that you know, please like, share, comment, tag somebody. This is my calling. And I'll tell you, I've got distracted multiple times in my life. A lot of it was because I needed to get healing and I was refusing. I don't know why it's been the greatest breakthrough in my life is when I started getting healing for what I was struggling with. Like the floodgates are opening, the opportunities are opening, doors are opening, and lives are changing. I've had like 15 people tell me I helped them prevent themselves from committing suicide. And I was like, man, what? Like that is a calling that God has put on my life. And I guarantee you have a calling on your life in some way, shape, or form. And once you get to healing, it's going to be known. Today, I invite you to get healing. I invite you to chase the things that bring you joy. I invite you to go after your calling. I invite you to be the source of your life. I invite you to be intentional from here on out. You matter. You're worthy. The lives that come in contact with you matter, even if you don't know them. We all matter. All lives matter. I love you all. I'm going to continue walking with you on our step of being boundless. You're all in my heart. You're in my prayers. I wish nothing but greatness on everyone on this earth. I wish nothing but breakthroughs on anyone on this earth. Anyone and everyone. Remember, at any moment in your life, any moment, at the snap of the fingers, there's at least 1 million people that would trade you lives. I'm not telling you this as like, oh man, their life's better. So that their life's worse, so that makes me feel better. No, that's not why I'm saying it. It's just to show you that we're all going through hell. And together, we all got to stand together, get healing, be intentional in the source in our lives to create the world that this was meant to be. I love you all. I'll talk with you soon. Hurt people. Let's all get some healing together so we all stop hurting people. And you know the drill. Be boundless. Have a great day, you all.